So today is the 16th of June, 2025. I was mainly making this post because, I wanted to talk about a little bit about my experience at the No Kings Day protest that I went to in Cleveland. I was conflicted. I was glad to be out and marching and being able to have my presence be there. I did make a little clip of me being there and I will post it. But I don't know. I'm just frustrated because it felt like most of that protest, I don't know how to phrase it properly. If a protest could be gentrified, that's what it felt like. It felt like, how do I phrase this? There were booths and stuff, but it didn't feel like there were booths, really trying to educate people on, how to continue resistance other than marching, what we can do for each other. There was a Food Not Bombs group there, which made me happy. There was people passing out free food and stuff, which was good to see some mutual aid stuff taking place there. But I'm genuinely just frustrated kind of with how it took place. It kind of just felt like a parade and not really like a protest. Genuinely felt like a parade in a lot of ways. I left at about 5:30 because I had places to be by 7 for prior engagements that I had already set up. I'm just upset because I know that there were at least 100 people left by the time that I left, and I know a bunch of people got tear gassed and pepper sprayed after we left. I wish I could have stayed longer, but to help some people through that, but I was not able to do that. Hopefully next time I can be there to help put out some tear gas or, help assist people if they need it, or report on the situation. I was going to report for the No Kings Day protest, but I don't know, I felt weird about it. I didn't know what the vibe was going to be like for that protest, so I just kind of left all my mics and everything at home. I kind of wish I would have brought it with me and asked some people, but genuinely, it just, I don't know, it was frustrating for me. Especially considering how my city is predominantly not white and also predominantly immigrant based. I genuinely wish that more people in the suburbs of the city I'm in would do more, because it seems like people within the inner cities are normally kind of trying to do some stuff, but it just feels, I don't know, it's complicated and there's a lot of layers to what's going on right now. But I will say, I want to continue to try to build resistance against what's happening. I genuinely am disgusted with how our country is devolving into just straight fascism. Before, it was there was a lot of fascistic traits and systems taking place within our country, and there's clear systemic racism that's always been a thing in this country, but it's just at this point it feels like the escalation is so much, and it feels sometimes locally, at least in my area, I don't know if it's just because people are afraid or if it's because People don't have the correct tools to organize here, but I just don't think that that's the case. I just think that, I don't know, there's a lot going on, and I just wish that there was more motivation to speak out. I've been seeing protests across the country where it's the majority of the towns are coming in support of immigration and coming in support of LGBTQ people and the people who are clearly being targeted by this administration and by ICE and by the police. I want to figure out better ways as a whole for us to protect each other. I have consistently seen videos of people just getting snatched out of their cars in front of their kids for no fucking reason, and I don't care what some fucking, conservative person who already has their head up their ass and is so like uneducated about this stuff that they are just willing to be like, oh yeah, that person was a criminal or whatever, when they're just some guy going to fucking work or some woman going to work, or person, but it's just frustrating to me seeing people in their day-to-day lives just trying to live and then being harassed and targeted by the state because ICE wants another like $200 or whatever a week per person. It's just frustrating to me that these people who are committing these acts of violence against civilians, I know that they ain't getting paid that much. Like, they really aren't. Like, at the end of the day, they're not making like enough in any, I don't think any amount of money would justify any of it, but like genuinely, like if you're only making $100,000 a year and your neighbor is making $75,000 a year, wow, you're making $20,000 more than your neighbor, and that's enough for you to sell out? Like, it's pennies to the hundreds, and I just don't understand where we're at with that. I don't understand how you can sell out like that. I just genuinely don't. Yes, baby. This baby loves fetch. But I just, I know I'm kind of rambling at this point, but in this year, I've seen so much death and destruction caused by people who have so much wealth that it's like, what's the point? Genuinely, you already have so much wealth that, like, the pennies that you're making more from slaughtering people, is it really... it's disgusting. And they want people to sell each other out. Like, they want people who are within their own communities to sell each other out, let alone people who are outside of these communities to sell out the communities. This is supposed to be a place where, like, freedom is supposed to exist, which it never really has, obviously, not for everybody, only really for white men. And I don't understand how they feel threatened that somehow other people gaining freedoms means they're losing freedom, which it's not true. Like, you might be losing control, but you're not losing freedom. You might be losing a power dynamic that's fucked up and shouldn't even be there in the first place, but that's not you losing freedom. And I think that these people think that that's what's happening, is that they're losing freedom when really they're just losing levels of control over other people. Sorry, there's a lot of mosquitoes out today. But I want to get to a place where more people realize that, like, capitalism is the thing. Capitalism mixed with a few other, like, ideology groups, like white supremacy and misogyny come together to create systems of power, and they need people to enforce those systems of power. Whether it's some, just random person on the street mocking somebody for being gay, or it's a police officer enacting systemic violence on a group of oppressed people, like, those acts are both in their own ways perpetuating the system. And genuinely, until we as people are ready to, like, really shift the way that we're living and thinking about things, I don't think that shit's really gonna change. Like, until people are willing to be like, I will help my neighbor for free and not expect monetary gain in return, or even anything from that individual in and of themselves, if they don't feel owed anything for the help that they're giving, then, then things might change. If we actually did have legitimate free food programs, free, like, ambulance ride programs, free doctor's ride programs, free, child care service programs, like, there are so many things that we could be doing for each other, but we have been conditioned and educated and, like, societally, like, pressured to continue to uphold these things, like, to uphold capitalism and to uphold these illusions of, like, scarcity on specific goods and, like, things like housing. Like, there's no reason why anybody should be homeless, except for if they specifically want to live that way themselves. And I don't think it's radical to say that. Like, I know that other people think it is, but for me, it's just like, that just seems like a basic human thing that we should all have for each other. We should all be accepted, no matter where we are on this planet. We should all have a house or a place to live. We should all have a community of people who is willing to support us and help us. And we should all have, like, our basic needs of food, water, shelter, and clothing met. Like, and education. I genuinely think that education should be included in that as well. Like, no matter what, like, type of, like, school system you have, whether it's like an in-home, at-home schooling, or, public schooling or private schooling, different levels of schooling are necessary. So just, like, having these things for people should just be, like, the basic level of, like, a basic level of, like, conditions that we should all have. Like, I don't understand how it's a bad thing to say that people shouldn't deserve to be homeless just for existing. They don't deserve to be starving just for existing. They don't deserve to be isolated just for being a person. Like, I don't know. I just think that puts us up, like, if we have this capability of self-awareness and we have the capability of educating ourselves and learning and using tools, like, why aren't we, like, doing it better? I don't know. I just hate greed, and I hate how we're expected to want to see each other suffer. Like, literally from toddlers, we're expected to want to see each other suffer. I mean, there's literally people out there raising their kids to call other kids slurs and degrade them. So, you know what I mean? I mean, it's like, this stuff is taught. It's not innate in us to hate each other. I think some people deal with trauma at an early age, whatever ways that is, that guides them to have a lack of empathy towards other people. But You can learn empathy at any age. You can decide to change at any age, and it's genuinely sad when I see like literally people older than me try to tell me that like the way that I'm living my life is wrong because I care about other people. It's like, no, I'm genuinely happy that the machine that is trying to get me to hate other people and trying to get me to be afraid of other people and trying to get me to reject my neighbors, reject the people who are trying to just live their lives around me and have fear towards them and hatred towards them. Like, that shit's not working on me. And it won't. Like, I will do whatever I can to fight against the powers that try to get me to hate other people. I just hope that more people continue to do that. And I'm going to continue to live my life in a way to where I am in service to other people, while also maintaining my own boundaries and maintaining my own, like, self-preservation for my own, like, mental health and everything. But you know, that's just my little rant for the day. Shit's been really chaotic, and I don't want to get into, like, details of specific things that I've seen that have been disturbing, but I just... if you've seen the videos of the past, I don't know, 2 years of what's happening globally, then, you know, if you're not shaken up by it, then you don't have empathy, and you should probably learn how to feel some empathy. If you can't because you have some kind of neurodivergence, that's you know, its own thing. But there are ways, even with neurodivergency, that causes it to be like impossible for you to do that self-work and that self-educating. There's still ways for you to be like, okay, well, this shit's still like wrong. Like, even if I don't feel it's wrong, it's still wrong. So, like, you know, even just like boycotting a little bit, like choosing a business not to like fund anymore, or, you know, getting an app on your phone that tells you where your products are coming from. Doing little things. It really does matter. Like, even if it's just like a little bit, like the fact that people think that, like, oh, I'm an individual, and so if I do something, it won't matter. That's literally the point that capitalism is trying to drive into us, is that, oh, you're an individual, your individual, like, effect won't matter. When 50,000 people say, I'm just an individual and what I do won't matter, that's literally 50,000 people saying, my choices don't matter. That's 50,000 people saying, oh, I can throw my water bottle out the car because I'm just one person. That's 50,000 people saying, oh, I can keep buying Burger King even though I know that they use slave labor, like, to make their clothes. Like, oh, I can keep buying from fucking Target even though they roll back all their DEI. Oh, I can keep buying from fucking Saba, even though they donate millions of dollars to weapons dealers. Like, there's ways that we can be educating ourselves and we're not. I don't know. Small rant over, I guess. I just hope that people try to do more, because genuinely I'm tired of like seeing so many people bitch and complain about how things are, but then not actually putting the boots to the ground to do something.